Access to high-speed internet has never been more important than it is today. And for many without the access, the number of disadvantages is only expanding. That's why online equity is so important. And Comcast has made an investment in that effort right here in the Memphis area. Joining us now on the latest effort to bridge the digital divide is Comcast's Executive Vice President, Broderick Johnson. And prior to his position, he was Assistant to the President and Secretary of the Cabinet under President Obama and Deputy Assistant for Legislative Affairs under President Clinton. Mr. Johnson, welcome to 3 at 3. Glad to have you back in Memphis. How have you been doing?
It's great to be here.
Had a chance to take in a Grizzlies game, I believe?
Second half last night.
Very good.
Exactly. It was a good game until the end.
Yes, it was.
For the Grizzlies.
We know that feeling, unfortunately. But again, glad to have you here.
It is great to be here.
I want to start with your role in the Obama administration, your role in the Clinton administration. Those experiences, how did you bring that to Comcast, especially as we try to really address the digital divide?
Yeah. So I worked for President Clinton for the last 2 years of his administration, and I worked in his legislative affairs operation. But I got a real chance to see his commitment to closing the digital divide, because he was talking about it even back then. Back then, by the way, the audacious goal was to bring a computer to every classroom. Right? That was the goal. Now, here we are decades later, and the goal is to make sure that in every household, kids and their families have access to the internet, they have the devices, they have the skills, they know how to use it to better their education and likewise.
So why is that access so imperative these days? Is it just for the joy of it that can come with relationships, as we know in some cases? Or is it actually maybe leading to jobs, other opportunities? What do you see?
No, you mentioned joy, and that's a big part of it, because I've met a lot of seniors for whom being able to be online brings them great joy. But it's also important, as you said, in terms of education. We learned during the pandemic, for example, that if a family didn't have access to the internet or wasn't using it, didn't have the devices, then kids were falling further behind. These gaps, these disparities that we unfortunately still are afflicted by in this country were made even worse because of lack of access or using the internet. Education, workforce development. You know, 92% of today's jobs, Alex, require at least one digital skill.
92%?
92% of today's jobs. Okay. So imagine what it's going to look like in a few years. And that's just one skill. But in order to really succeed, you need to be capable of using lots of digital skills, especially as we look at AI.
Help me paint a picture here, though. When we hear about barriers, especially when it comes to internet access, computer access, or however you want to look at it, is it mainly in our urban communities like a Memphis, Tennessee, or are we also talking rural areas? Where is it?
Yeah, so it's interesting. What we have found, certainly, and because of the investments that Comcast and other companies have made, in much of urban America, the vast majority of urban America actually has access to the infrastructure. So it's not about the infrastructure or the technology, but it's about adopting the internet, and that is getting people to subscribe. And that's the picture in urban America, where it's, again, almost ubiquitous. Everyone has sort of the infrastructure. But in rural America, we have some real challenges. A lot of rural America still isn't built out. So now we have what's called the BEAD program. It's a federal program where billions, tens of billions of dollars are available to solve the crisis in rural America where people don't have the technology yet or the infrastructure. But we're going to solve that.
How do you solve that? Is part of that outreach maybe working with churches, congregations to also kind of help pave the way to say, here is a way to find access to the internet?
Absolutely, because what we have, again, we've done great studies and worked with great researchers on what are the barriers. Even when people have access to the infrastructure or cost isn't a problem because they have a program like Comcast Internet Essentials to be able to get high-speed internet for low cost or no cost in many circumstances. Even with that, people don't sign up. So what are the barriers? The barriers can be distrust for government or business. For example, there's a lot of that, unfortunately.
Especially these days.
Right, exactly. Lack of devices, people not having laptops, and it's important to have a laptop or a computer, not just your mobile phone. Digital skills. So you have these devices, but how do you use them? And for many people, that's a barrier. And then finally, a barrier of relevance.
What do you say relevance?
What relevance, what difference will it make in my life if I am using the internet? How will my life be different? Am I going to just have a whole lot of things, more things to worry about in terms of my privacy, for example? Is it really going to be worth the time and the investment? Am I going to get confused? And so this is where it's really important to work with nonprofit organizations.
So how else does Comcast go about doing that these days to break down those barriers, especially in a community like Memphis, Tennessee, or the entire region for that matter?
So first of all, you have to work with trusted organizations and partner with those organizations, the ones that people will trust when they say, hey, here's how you get on the internet. Here's how you sign up for a program. Here's how you get a laptop. Here's how you use it. So we work with what's called digital navigators type programs, and they help people. Again, they are trusted in the communities, and when people come to them to say, this is how you do it, well, Comcast, we partner with a lot of those organizations. It is critical to the success of the work.
You have me wondering, though, how do you see the future of tech these days, especially in our lives? Are you optimistic? Are those barriers likely to continue, or where do you see things going?
So I tend to be very optimistic, and perhaps it's because of the way I was raised, but also because I've had the chance to work with people like Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, who are about as optimistic as any leaders we've ever seen, and to believe that we can solve problems, and to not see technology in terms of barriers, but in terms of opportunities, to close these divides. Kids of color, kids in low-income communities are just as fascinated by the internet as anyone else. We just have to make sure that they have the skills and the training and the opportunities to be able to use it.
Very quickly, last but not least, what brings you to Memphis? I know a lot of folks want to know, because I know you also have things like Live Zones going on these days, which are very important to this area.
Yes, so during the pandemic, Comcast, as part of our $1 billion Project Up commitment, started Live Zones in communities all across the country. We have well over 1,300 of these now. Here in the city of Memphis, we are launching our 9th one tonight. We're having a ribbon cutting ceremony at St. Augustine's Roman Catholic Church. I am so delighted to be able to go there. I practiced at St. Augustine Church in D.C.
Did you?
So it's really very meaningful. It's the oldest African-American church, Catholic church there as well. We will be launching a Live Zone there. Again, our 9th one here, and this is where young people and seniors can come and learn how to use the internet and how it can make a big difference in their lives.
It can really change lives for sure.
It does. It really does.
Glad to have you here in Memphis. We will do this again.
Yes.
Whenever you come back.
Be glad to. Thank you.
A short break. We will be back in just a moment.